Good morning, guys. G'day. Dan Jones is my name. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life. I've discovered another boat. Cannes Boat Show is over, but the videos are not. I had to bring this one to you. This is a new Finnish startup called Quarken. Obviously, this is a walkthrough. The boat's not in the water, so we won't be going for a test drive. But I think I started to understand what these Finnish blokes do every winter. I think they just sit in sheds and think really hard and do a lot of clever, intelligent designing, because there's some good ideas on this boat which I want to bring to you. So first of all, come in close and let's have a look at the hull. Basically, she's a deep V, she's a cutting bow, she has air steps. I can see the bow thruster in there. I can see a little bit of a more aggressive V action at the front, and I can also notice a little bit of a flare here, which I have seen on some other boats before. So what this is going to do, this is going to part the waves. The air steps are going to aerate the hull, and then this section here is going to give us a more usable, workable space up on the bow, but it's also going to keep us a little bit dry as well. So look, this is going to be a little bit ad hoc. We do have forklifts and machinery going on around us, so you'll just have to bear with us as we go. But as we come down the side of the boat, we have some fender bump strips, as you'd expect on a style of boat like this, and a second row of bumpers which go around the transom. I have been told by the guys at the factory that this fitting here and this fitting here is going to be changed into a stainless fitting, which makes a lot of sense. Come on back to the back of the boat. Next thing worth talking about, it's the 300 Yami. So these guys are supported and they work only with Yamaha. So this particular boat, she's 27 feet long, 2.5 tons, and they fit it just with the 300 V6. This one has the electric steering. I've driven this motor before on some other boats on my channel. It's a really torquey, powerful, nice motor to drive. With the electric steering, it's going to be quite a comfortable ride. So yeah, that's good to see. I do like the odd Yamahas. First thing, as you step aboard, we've got this telescopic, quite substantial swim ladder, and it's got the grab holds here, so this is going to be quite easy to get on board. And I also noticed this clever design. It's quite simple, but I haven't seen this before. It just notches into this little thingamajiggy here, so there's no worrying about straps or other things which are going to deteriorate over time and then eventually break, and your swim ladder automatically deploys without you wanting it to. So that's kind of clever. As we board, we've got these decent sized transom platforms, perfectly good for some people swimming. You know, I've got more than enough space there. Same again on the other side, and you can see the ski pole. So this ski pole, it's well supported. This is going to be good for a single skier or a biscuit and a wakeboarder, and yeah, you're not going to have any issues there. So what we might do, maybe give me the camera and then you come up on the ladder so we can give everyone a bit of a appreciation of this. So just give us a second, guys. I'll just try and give you a little bit of a pan through the interior whilst we're doing that. So one thing worth pointing out straight away is she's an offset cabin. So you pass through on the port side instead of center console. That was an immediate thing that I noticed. It could be quite clever. So I'll just pass the camera back now. Maybe just go over there and look back at me here so everyone can appreciate this. So yeah, this is a layout. Even just go even a little bit further forward, and then you can see everything. When you step on board the boat, you've got this swim platform here. It's all on the one level. It's all covered in flexi-teak. It's the soft stuff, so that's going to keep your feet warm in winter, and it will also give you good grip underfoot. But you've got a cleat just here, you've got a manual bilge pump here, and you've got a a shower just here. And then you get into the entertainment lounging type zone. This one will automatically, or like that will just lever forward and turn into a sun lounge if you choose, but it doesn't end there. Doesn't end there. So if you've been wakeboarding or skiing and you want to pull your toys out of the water and load them into a location, well, they've thought of that because on gas struts, this locker just pops up right here. The other thing is, if you want to utilize this area for more lounging, this just pulls straight out here and it can become a backrest over there, which is quite clever. Doesn't end. So if you want to get to those skis or other items, this is all neatly presented with gas strut hinges as well. The next thing worth noting, it keeps going. More storage underneath here, your batteries conveniently located, and if you need to store the fenders, they've actually installed a neat bag just under here. We'll cut to some shots of that. So operating the boat, you pull the fenders in, straight in here. Lines will probably go in this bag as well, and also up in the bow. And then your other items, say your water toys, are going to go there. Some guest bags could go in here, and then you've still got more storage, which we're going to get to. There, I saw some courtesy lights as I entered the boat. There's a flagpole holder as well. But then when you enter this main area, like space-wise, more than enough space for 1, 2, 3, 4 people here, 5, 6 just there. And as we just discovered, it's a little bit multifunctional. You can option it with a table just here. That table can then drop down and turn this area into like a larger sun lounge type setup. As you can see here with the seats, we've got the skipper's seat facing forward, but it will spin around like this one. They've both got flip-up bolsters on either side, and then on this side we have a little flip down for people's as a footrest essentially. Currently we've got a little drawer fridge underneath this console area here, but they are designing this to in future incorporate a sink as well, which is kind of cool. But it keeps going. One of the design processes for the guys at Quarken, or the thought processes, is future-proofing this boat. So a lot of boats will actually make elements of their hull or inside their hull quite hard to access. Whether that's deliberate or not, I have no idea. But Quarken, they've actually allowed for this whole centre line of the boat to be either easily accessed, like we see just here. So if we just do this, I can get in and see the fuel tank is actually an aluminium fuel tank located inside its own box. So I know in Australia, if you want to put a boat into charter, this is how they want you to do it. So it's actually encapsulating that fuel tank. If there ever was a leak, it's not going to go anywhere. And I'd say in America, it's probably the same situation. So that's kind of future-proofing it in one way. I can also get right to the hull as well, but it doesn't end there. You can actually remove these whole floor sections. So just here and here we'll remove. I'll close that later. I've done something wrong. If you needed to, if a service technician needed to get to the holding tanks or remove the fuel tank, for example, or something in the future, it's doable. They've actually allowed for that in the original design process. So I like seeing when manufacturers think about that sort of thing. So maybe if you guys come around here and start to film back at me this way, so come around and stand over here, and then let's capture this helm, because you need to see this. So yeah, that's quite clever thinking. But once you get to the helm, as I mentioned as we got on board, she's an offset boat. So you have your pass-through on the port side to the bow, and the starboard side, you really just have a handhold to the midships cleat just here. You're not going to pass through on the starboard side, and it's deliberately done that way. But from a driver's perspective, come in and make sure you've got a good look at this helm. It's all pretty neat. It's all pretty neat. So we've got the Yamaha throttle that's set back from the wheel. We've got our start stops just here. That's going to be your emergency just there. We're going with Lenco trim tabs on this one. A decent size drink holder. You will be able to put a tinny with a cooler and a second drink holder on the other side. Then we've got a flat screen Garmin. We've got our Yamaha digital diagnostics in the middle and a second Garmin on the port side. And then you've got your bow thruster here and all our boat systems, from lights, bilge pumps, horns, auxiliaries, deck lights, panel lights, courtesy lights, etc. just there. And your fusion, and then your VHF just here. I think, I'm not sure, but this actually even looks like phone charging. It looks like there's a pad here which is a touchless phone charging as well. I could be wrong, but I think that's what that may be. It continues. There's also a pocket underneath the helm for storing small items, a footrest, and a little ledge on the starboard side, which would be great for drink bottles. It's also got a USB, a double USB, so you could throw a couple of phones down there and put them on charge. I see fresh water in, petrol in, and waste out on port. And then we get on to the T-top. So just go back a little bit and try and capture this protection that we are experiencing under this T-top. So this is a solid fiberglass T-top with like quite a strong construction from what I gather, and it starts just here. So you're gonna get protection from there to here from the sun. It's pretty high, so tall blokes, I'm 5'7", I'm actually only just touching the top there. I don't think tall blokes are gonna bang their heads on this one. So whether you're standing or sitting at the helm, you know, some boats that have quite the racy look, the big blokes, they can't actually stand up at the helm. I don't think you're gonna have that problem on this boat. But I see speakers down there and there. I see downlights here and here, 2 sets, which means if you've got the picnic table set up just here and you're eating at night time, you can see what you're doing. And then you will illuminate the companionway and the helm if you have those on as well. So that's kind of cool, but it doesn't end there. There is fixture points to have a sunshade going aft. So attaching to the T-top and then going aft to some poles, and same again for the bow. So let's just go and have a look at the bow before we go downstairs. So come forward. So accessing the bow, you feel like if the boat was rocking around, you actually would feel quite safe here because your bum's gonna be nestled in between these two fiberglass structures, and then you could use the windscreen itself as a handhold and the hull before you get to this handhold. So I feel like that's quite safe. And then you get into this neat bow. It's quite social. So just soaking all this in, I would definitely use this bow area. It's a multifunctional area for boarding on the beach, for boarding onto other boats or marinas, but also sitting down as I am now. The table, as we see, it's in table mode. So it's not designed to open up when you're in picnic mode, because it has another function. If you want to remove this leg, you can actually sit the table on this ledge here and another ledge here, and that's when you open this out and it becomes the base for the sun lounge. So this can then become the whole bow sun lounge, which would be quite comfortable. You know, you just imagine this whole area from here to there in a bed. And I tell you what, here in the south of France and the weather that we've got here, I'd be sleeping up here. This is quite the spot for it. Courtesy light, speaker, courtesy light. There is also an option. This is a Finnish boat, but I think for Australia, you would take the option to put a Lumar hatch in the middle here, which gives you airflow down to the cabin. So that's probably a good idea for any of the Aussies looking at a boat like this. A couple little steps here and here seem moderately functional for accessing the bow, and the bow itself, so I'll just try and come in a little bit closer and focus on this. I like seeing this Scando vibe with these bow ladders. We don't do enough of this back home. So what we have here is a good old 4-step telescopic swim ladder mounted in the bow. That'll protrude out when you need it to. And it just gives you the ability to stick the nose on the beach, deploy the ladder, and go for coffee, which I absolutely love doing. That's one of the best things. That's why you buy a boat like this. Now, what you can see here, this is facility for the bow roller. So if you option it, this boat doesn't have that as the option. They do a lot of stern anchoring in Scandinavia. But if you have the bow roller, the chain's going to go down here, and the windlass would be located down below in here. But the anchor locker is a decent size, and then you've got space for a little bit of rope on starboard. So that's cool. Stainless steel navigation lights there and there. So let's go back. You got one windscreen wiper, and I noticed that it's stainless steel, so it's going to last a little bit longer. Then I'm passing through an opening window just here, and the dash is also a nice matte colour, so you're not going to get that reflection up in your face, which can be annoying on those sunny days. So let's check out this cabin. I'll just move this cushion off to one side, and I'll see how big the bed is. Okay, so that's me with my feet on the bed, and then I'm stretching out. So this is fine for a couple. You know, it's definitely comfortable overnighting. Again, I think if you had that opening hatch for our hot climate, it would be a little bit more comfortable. But the space down here it's quite luxurious, actually. You've got some textured finishes in the roof. You've got your fiberglass finish, but combined with that textured finish, this little curtain, this almost like a light oak interior timber, and then these sides down here with this textured finish on the cushions and the woolen carpet. It's kind of everything you need. Like you'd be quite happy coming down here for a night or two if you're on your little adventures. And what I see here, they actually have designed it in such a way that you can have a kind of privacy with this curtain just here. So you've got the toilet, which just flips up there. Just pass me the camera and I'll just make sure everyone can see that. So that toilet flips up, but you can see you've got that curtain there, which gives you somewhat amount of privacy. And what you're probably going to do if you're day boating, you might actually just have this companionway open for airflow, and then when or someone is using the toilet, they might just pull that curtain closed. Below these cushions here, there's just technical access to the bow thruster and water tank from memory. So yeah, I think that's the boat, guys. I'm loving seeing all these good creations. We'll try not to get the portaloos in the background. So we'll come over here. I'm loving getting, just observing what's going on in Finland. I think this is what they do in their winters. They sit, think and design. They spend their summers boating. They take good ideas and they put those ideas into practice over the winter. So this is a Finnish startup. They're a new company. I'm going to start following their progress because this is not the only model on this hull base. So they've also got a cabin and they've also got an open. I look forward to get an opportunity to have a drive of this boat because from what I can see of the hull shape and observe of the weight and the design, these boats are built in Finland. I think it's going to be one to watch. My name's Dan Jones. If you like this content, please subscribe, follow, hit the bell notification. I make these videos for you. I fund this channel myself and hopefully one day with you too via the Patreon account. So get on there and support the channel if you're interested. This has been Dan's Boat Life. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.